Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Wisfox KL368 wireless keyboard and mouse combo. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. On the back it says RGB backlight, so it has 7 colors and 3 brightness levels, long battery life. So the Amazon description says standby time for the keyboard is 365 days and the mouse is 270 days. This recharges with USB Type-C. It uses 2.4 GHz wireless. The mouse and keyboard use the same USB receiver. It's a quiet keyboard and this works with Windows, Mac, Linux, Chrome, etc. So let's get this open. Here we have the manual. So here are more detailed specs. You can pause and read through those. Now we talked about the runtime on this. A couple things to point out. The runtime with backlight on is 15 hours. Without backlight is 350 hours. Now the Amazon description says standby is 365. So standby is when you're not using it. This would be when you are using it. And then we have the mouse. The working time with backlight is 20 hours. Without the backlight is 50. So this comes with keyboard, mouse, charge cable, USB receiver, and USB adapter. So to connect it up, you plug the receiver into your computer. You turn the mouse and keyboard on. Then it has a key combination to change the lights. So you press function enter to turn on the backlight and change the brightness levels, and then you press function shift to change colors. Now this works with Windows or Mac. Some of the keys on Windows and Mac can be a little different, like the command and the Windows button. So you can press function Q or function W to switch between those two modes. Then we have numlock, caps lock. This shows the multimedia buttons. They're pretty straightforward. You press function and the F key. Now you can press function escape to lock those, so you don't have to press function to use the multimedia keys. Then we have an FAQ. So let's get this out. So this is a slim keyboard. Let's get a dimension on it. So we're at about a little over 14.5 inches, just a hair over. And the width is just a hair under 5.5. Then the height on it is a little under 7/8 at the thickest. The mouse out. Take a closer look at that. Let me get everything out. Here we have the USB receiver, and it comes with a USB Type-C adapter, so you can hook this into newer computers. And here we have the USB-C charging cable. So you can charge this with your computer's USB port, or you could use a phone charger. So let's take a closer look at the mouse. So this has 2 buttons here, a DPI button in the middle, a scroll wheel, which clicks. Then we have buttons on the side. You can often use those in a browser for forward and back. On the bottom, we can slide this open. And here we have a little place for the USB dongle. So if you travel with this, you have a nice place to store the dongle. I think there's plastic on these pads. Yep, let's pull those off. So there's a switch here. It's currently off. You can switch it to on or backlight. So this does have a backlight on it, and it cycles through different colors. Then on the front, we have the USB-C charge port. So let's try charging this. I'll plug the USB cable in here, and I'll plug that into my charger. And it's currently charging at 0.41 amps. Now let's look a little closer at the keyboard. So the back has this texture on it. We have 3 rubber feet on the front and 2 in the back. There's this little thing that looks like it opens, but I'm not sure how to open it, so I'm not going to mess with it. We have the on-off switch here. Here you can see the keys. And we have labeling on here. You can see where it says Win and Mac. So you do the function Win, function Mac to switch between those. And then the multimedia keys are labeled. The charge port is in the end here. Let's try charging it. So now it's charging. It's lit up there. And our backlight keys also have labels on them. So if you lose the manual, you can kind of figure out what you need to do to use this. And this is charging at 0.38 amps. So let's get this tested out on a computer. Okay, so here I have my MacBook Pro. I'll plug this into the USB port. I'll turn the mouse on. I'll turn the keyboard on. So the mouse works already. Now the Mac brought up the keyboard assistant. I'll go through it. It will just ask you to press a couple keys so it can identify what kind of keyboard you have. So this mouse is moving a little bit slow for my liking, so I can press this middle button to change the DPI. So that's moving faster, faster. So I can cycle through this and find the mouse speed I like the most. So I like that right there. So on a Mac, if you press Command Space, it will bring up Spotlight Search. So if I press Command Space now, it just does a space. It doesn't work right. So what I can do is I can hit Function Mac and then hit Command Space. And now we have it so it's working with Mac keyboard layout. So if you're using a Mac or Windows and the keys aren't working as you expect, make sure you press function Win Mac to do the right operating system. And typically if you're using Linux or Chrome, you'd probably want to use the Windows function, I think. Then we have the multimedia buttons. So I can hit function sound up. So that's not changing the sound. So the function keys must be locked on. So I can hit function escape and that will turn the lock off. So now I can hit function sound up. Although I actually like that with it locked. So I'll lock it again. And now I can just press these buttons. So when I pressed function F3 before and it didn't work, I could have just pressed function F3. So if you use the F keys, you may want to turn that function lock off. If you don't use your F keys, you can just leave the function lock on. So here we have mute, volume up, down. We can hit play, fast forward. We can change the brightness, especially on laptops. And I think it's like select all, copy, cut, paste, print screen, pause, break. So let's try typing on this. Let me make the font bigger. So that types nice. This has a low key travel. So typing on this is very similar to typing on my laptop keyboard. Now, one nice thing about this keyboard is that it's a pretty slim keyboard, but it also has that numeric keypad. I don't have that on the laptop. So if you're used to using your numeric keypad and you want that, you could get a keyboard like this. And the keyboard is just slightly narrower than my laptop keyboard. This does also have the page up, page down, home, and buttons. So let's take a look at the backlight. So I'll turn off my camera light here and the overhead light. And here we can see the red glow of the keyboard. We also have the mouse as a light in the back. So if we want to change this, we'll press function, enter, and that will change the color. So we have red, green, blue, yellow, purple, teal. I'm not great with colors, but you can see it changing the colors. And then if we press function shift, we can change the brightness. So we can turn it off. So if you want that longest battery life, you can turn it off. We press it again, we have low, medium, and high. So having it on high is going to drain the battery the fastest. Now when it's on low, it is very visible, so it's hard to see exactly on camera. Let me get in a little closer to this. Let's cycle through that again. There's the brightness levels, and these are the different colors. Now I can touch type, but I do like to have a backlit keyboard when I'm working in the dark. Sometimes there are certain buttons you want to see. Now I don't necessarily need it at the brightest level, so I would probably turn it on the lowest brightness level, and I really like that right there. That's a light blue. And then of course we have that mouse over there, which is just kind of cycling through those colors. So that was the Wisfox KL368 wireless keyboard and mouse combo. I really like keyboard and mouse combos where you can have a single USB dongle that you plug into the computer. That saves ports and it makes it easy to set up. You could also stick this in some game consoles or even a TV to control them. So if you're typing a password in on your TV, oftentimes you can stick a dongle like this into your TV and type it out. But having a USB-A dongle makes it super compatible so you can use it with many different devices. And I really like the slim size of this. It takes up very little room, but it still has a numeric keypad. It's nice to type on, but it doesn't skimp out on functionality. It has multimedia buttons, has that home and page up, page down buttons, and numeric keypad. And it also charges with USB-C on the keyboard and mouse, so you can use the latest cables to charge this. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.